Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started on this black horse today. And I spent some time in the last few days trying to find a reference photo that I really liked to help me, because I don't particularly like this one because it's an indoor scene and I'm doing outdoor. But I found and looked at a few that could possibly work, so I kind of memorized those. I'm going to use some of these points here on here, but I'm going to enhance them a little bit. So set that side here, and when everything is dry now, see how that all dried really nice, except this is still bare canvas here. Now I'm going to start on the far, because I'm right-handed. I always like to start on the left and work my way to the right, so I'm not getting my hand stuck in wet paint. If you're left-handed, you start over here and work your way this way. So let's get started here. I've got 3 brushes I'm going to use today, and I may change my mind. I've got a number 3 round for the details. Put that there. It'll probably roll off. That's all right. And then for the broader areas, or the wide areas, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch angle. And then for the smaller areas, like down by the feet and legs, I use a 1/4 inch angle. These are shaders. They blend. So let's get started. Let's see. Where I'm going to put you. I'll put you right there. I'll put you right there. How's that? Now let's start with, this is that mixture. And what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of saturating the bristles with it. Not very much. I don't know if you can see from the glare there how much is actually on there. Very little. And I start with a brown. And this is that indigo blue. Now look how nice of a black that makes. And you want to make sure, though, that you don't have too much of the blue, because it's a very strong pigment. And what you're looking for is something kind of in between. See how that kind of neutralized? If I pull it here, you can see. Over here it's too blue. Now the camera obviously doesn't show perfect color, so you're going to have to be the judge when you're the one here at the palette pulling your colors out. Okay, we were going to start with the tail. Let me look at this here quick. Okay. Do I want the little brush or want the big brush? I'm going to use the smaller one. I don't know if this is going to have enough spring for what I want. We'll give it a shot here. Because it's small, it may not load up as much paint on as I'd like to have, but we'll try it. Now I'll try and hold everything back a little way so you can see. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking at 2 main dark shapes here. This one and then this one. So let's do the big one first. And kind of drawing it just to make sure I know where it starts and stops. Now if your paint, see how that's kind of dry and it's not coming off. I don't want to push too hard and ruin this brush. I'll grab just a tiny bit of, barely touching that turpentine. Just to thin that down just a little bit. And you just fill it in, just like that. A lot of that lays across here, see that? So I want to make sure that I feel where it covers. Okay. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to just be so tight with it that it has to be super perfect. All the super perfect stuff is going to come later on your second. We just covered territory on the first layer. Now I'm going to go for this little button right there. Just right here. Like that. You can see that okay. Oh, whoops. make a mistake, take your finger, just wipe it off, just like that. And then I did it twice. I'm trying not to use my bifocals so we won't mess it up. Okay. Clean that little rascal there. Now, let's go for, okay. I'm trying to use my bifocals without using my head. Okay. Some blue and white. I've got two blues out here. I've got a cerulean blue, and then I've got this phthalo blue, because I didn't know which one I was going to like the best. I'm dipping the brush right now in that little bit of leftover oil that I had there. See which one I like best. That's pretty. And that's very close to what we want. So we'll use that one. And there's not that much in the tail colors here, just a very little bit. It looks like there's some right here. And a little bit right here. Everything else is white, so clean that. Grab some white. Yeah, I'll go back for this big one that we loaded up with dark paint. Now, for right now, I'm going to go with what the picture shows me. If I need to change things along the way, I'll change them a little bit and I'll show you how I do that. So, first what I'm looking at in this black horse, and I hope you can see this okay. I'm looking at his very darkest spots, and I'm looking at shapes. See this shape here? This one, right here. I don't have it drawn on here, but I'm going to paint that shape. And I'm going to look at where that ends under the tail, right about here. From here on down, it's dark. See that? And a point like that. Just fill it in. Good morning, Chloe. 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 Say hello. Wave at the people. Hello. Okay. That's Chloe. Now I'm going to look where this curves up. Right about there. Jack, what is that thing you got on your head, Mom? Don't know. Okay. There might be, when I do horses, I kind of clam up, so stretches of quiet. And you notice I'm not putting in any details here. I don't have any music to play. I suppose I probably could have turned on the radio. Listen to the rock and roll station. Yeah, I'll stop here because I got a bigger brush. I'll quit right there and keep working up top. And you will notice the coffee is out of reach. It's very important you don't dip the coffee. Okay. Notice I dipped over here because I knew I had a little too much oil on there. Okay, looks like it's very dark all across the tummy. I just want to spot where this got kind of oily down here, so I'm moving it to a little fresh spot. I don't know if you can see that, how transparent that got. I don't get a good coverage there. You want it sort of thick, but not so thick that it won't come off out of the bristles. You don't want it so thin that it's washy, and you don't want it like watercolors. You don't want it that thin. Not this first coat. I don't know if you can see that. See that muscle? I have a little line there. Then it comes, this muscle here, which is right about here. This line, you always see it on every picture. It always leads to this point right here. See, like as if there was an arrow on it. So here's that point. I'm trying to hold this straight.